Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Frog Kissin, a Muppet podcast. Yay!
Yay! That was really well timed.
Yeah. All right. Today's episode, we're going to talk about Gonzo.
Yeah. A lot about Gonzo.
Pretty much is just going to be about Gonzo because we forgot to do a second topic, or rather, a different topic.
And
But that's okay.
that's not a bad thing.
Gonzo is a topic all by himself.
I could talk about Gonzo for forever.
You could write about Gonzo, and you have, and we'll listen to that later.
Yes, but first,
That's so cheesy.
that was really cheesy. That's okay.
It really was.
Nothing wrong with a little cheese.
Yeah.
I love cheese. Okay, so before we move on, we did want to acknowledge a couple people that have helped us get to actually making this podcast and people that have inspired us and such. And we mentioned them on the Twitters earlier this week, but people like Joe and Ryan from Tough Pigs, obviously,
Absolutely.
Ryan Doe's from Muppet Mindset, the
The
wonderful
Does.
the Does.
That's my special nickname for him.
I know it is. He thought his name had a Z in it.
Hey, look, I corrected those tags. I did.
All I think is Doozer.
Doozer. Well, no, because Doozer has two O's.
It's still pretty,
right?
It's still pretty.
Doozer?
Yeah, it does,
No.
but it's still pretty similar.
Does it? Okay. Yeah. And it
Um,
doesn't have an I in it.
that's true.
Who else?
The
Other than
one-
Ryan, and Joe.
the wonderful Dave Holteen for doing our artwork.
Oh, yeah. That art.
He's pretty amazing, and if you have not looked at the rest of his artwork, you should go look at it online because he's pretty awesome. Who else? You wanted to thank a couple like Chris Hardwick and
Chris Hardwick for being awesome and having the most awesome podcast in all of podcastdom. Big giant thank you to Austin Titchener of the Reduce Shakespeare Company and his podcast, where I tweeted at him about podcast tips and everything, and he made me an entire podcast for it.
that's right.
So I don't think you can get better than that.
You really
So
can't.
big giant ups to him. Will Wheaton for having an awesome podcast, even though he only does it like once every 6 months now, but that's okay. Radio Free Burrito, you should listen to that. Let's see. Jim from my work, because he kept asking about if we had done it yet, and now I can say that yes, we did.
Thanks for being so persistent, Jim.
Yeah.
Even though I've never met
Keeping
you.
me. Yeah. He's a nice guy. It's cool. He actually once met Jim Henson when he was like in 3rd grade. Jim Henson just came to his classroom to visit the teacher that was an old girlfriend or something of his.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, shut up, that's the best. And he was like, I don't know, he came in, said hi, and basically left. That was it. I was like, shut up though, you met Jim Henson. It still counts.
That's amazing, and I'm
Yeah.
incredibly jealous.
I know. He was like, well, I was in 3rd grade. Yep.
And we definitely wanted to thank Steve Swanson. Swanson. Did I just mess
Swanson.
up his last name? I did.
Yes,
for-
Swanson.
Who did the Muppet Cast for? How long was Muppet Cast on for? It was on for quite a
Like,
while.
I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, which I haven't listened to all of it, but I've listened to a ton of the episodes,
I have listened to all of them.
yeah, and obviously we've drawn a lot of inspiration from the work that he did.
Obviously.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we totally stole that song thing, but
It's
it's
good.
too good though. He
And
seemed to be cool with it after we told him we did it.
that would be really weird
yeah.
if he wasn't cool with it, but
No, he'll be like, dude, what? I'm like, okay, well, we'll stop doing it.
no more songs.
Yeah, his interviews are really good, especially with Richard Hunt's mom. Oh, those are my favorite. Those are
Oh,
my
yeah.
absolute favorite.
And thank you to all the listeners for listening,
Oh yeah, I guess those guys too, huh?
because we kind of need you to keep going. Well, actually, that's not true. If no one was listening, we probably would still do this,
We probably would.
because it's
We
fun.
probably would. But it helps to have listeners so you can ask us questions.
It's true, so we have more
And-
things to talk about.
And we do love you, audience. We do love you.
That's kind of a
All
good
right.
segue into the questions that we have.
Into Questions.
Questions. We only have a
Yay.
couple, but that's quite all right. So, at Muppety Notes asked, "What celebrity do you want to see work with the Muppets who hasn't before?"
Um, I was gonna say Chris Hardwick, but he has.
And my answer to this has always been Tina Fey, but that's
She
no
also.
that's no longer a
Yeah.
problem.
Well, I guess dreams come true.
Pretty
Yeah, no,
much.
Chris Hardwick. Yeah, Chris Hardwick worked with. He's worked with a lot of Muppets now because
Didn't
Jim
he work
Henson
with the
Company is
Didn't
with.
he work with Fraggle Rock for?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Fraggle Rock for the Do It Anyway video
Mm-hmm.
by Ben Folds. If you haven't seen that, you need to.
It's amazing.
Just yeah, and he has a bunch of stuff going on with uh the Nerdist and Jim Henson Company being partners through like Legacy Films or whatever the company
Mm-hmm.
that owns that now. He interviewed the Muppets, which was nice. I mean, it felt very like, kind of scripted interviewee kind of
Mm.
thing.
Yeah.
Which I guess you would have to be, but I'm just like crossing my fingers for the day where he interviews Brian Henson or Cheryl or Lisa or somebody or any actual Muppeteer as a Muppeteer and not the character.
That'd be
That
pretty
would be cool.
amazing. And to be
And
fair, yeah.
he's had Paul Williams on his podcast twice. So if you guys haven't listened to that, you need to.
I don't think I have. I think I meant to, and then I never did.
Yeah, definitely. The second one is really cool because Chris does a Gonzo impression and they sing. They just kind of like spur of the moment at the very end of the podcast. Um, Paul just starts to do. He sings all the way through. I'm going to go back there someday because it's Chris's favorite song. And then he didn't like how he did it or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris was like, Chris just started to do his Gonzo impression, and Paul was like, let's do it, and you do it, and we'll do it together. And then at the end, Paul was like, that's the one that we were supposed to do, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. It was really good, and Chris was actually really good at his Gonzo impression. It was really nice.
Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier.
Yeah,
I don't know who I'd want to see work with the Muppets though. I mean, almost every celebrity's been on Sesame Street at this point, and
yeah. Martin Freeman.
oh, Martin Freeman would be so good with the Muppets. Oh my
That
god.
would be so cute. Benedict Cumberbatch's already done it, so I was like, who else? Martin Freeman.
That's kind of what I was just
Yeah,
thinking about Benedict.
yeah,
I'd love to see Amy Poehler with like the Muppets. I know that she's done some stuff on Sesame before, but
yeah.
I love Amy Poehler to death.
That would be great.
Pretty
I
much.
know, it's like so many people have already done it.
Has Tom Hanks ever worked with the Muppets?
I don't
I
know.
love Tom Hanks.
I don't think that he has.
He should.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Nicest guy in Hollywood. Nicest frog in Hollywood. Come on. I want to say that they did, though.
I feel like they
Now that I think
have.
about it. To the Muppet Wiki. We'll look at this up real quick. Okay, what's our next question while I look this up?
Our next question is, I'll save that one for last. Carolyn from Tough Pigs asked, "How have the Muppets influenced your personal style?"
I had a green car.
And
I win.
you personally, did you purposely make it green because of Kermit?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then yes, that is
Before
very.
that, before that, it was dark blue, and I was calling it Gonzo, but it needed a new paint job because I had wrecked it. So I was gonna do it anyway. So I was like, my dog just started snoring really loud. So Sam, stop, Sam. Gosh, she's so bad. So I got it green.
Yeah, that's pretty much winning if you paint your car green because of
Yeah.
Kermit.
Also, a billion t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
um, socks. Oh, you can tell your sock story.
I can't. Well, Sock Story doesn't really fit into how the Muppets influenced my style. That's more Tough
Yeah, I
Pigs,
guess.
Julia Cries story because everyone's amazing. I do have Muppet socks though because of that
Hmm.
story, and I've got several T-shirts as well. One of my friends made me a Kermit the Frog skirt for one birthday a couple years ago.
Aw,
And it's
cute.
adorable, and I don't wear it often enough. And I have Gonzo
Okay.
footy pajamas.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do.
And they're
Gonzo for the
amazing,
pajamas.
and I miss them, and I wish they were here.
I went through this phase on eBay where I was buying like a bunch of Muppet T-shirts, but I wasn't paying close attention to like the dimensions of the T-shirt, and I kept buying T-shirts that I couldn't fit into.
You
And
sent
you
me a
have
few
one of them
T-shirts.
now.
You sent me like
Yeah, I
three
sent you that
shirts.
Gonzo one.
You sent me the
Yeah,
Gonzo
those are the
one.
ones.
You sent me one
Yeah,
with
those are the
Grover
ones that
on
I
it.
bought.
And I've
Mhm.
got another one that I can't remember to save my life right now because it's
There's
back
like
in the
a
States.
yeah. There's a Gonzo. I don't know. I can't remember either. But yeah, the Grover one I actually got a Hot Topic, and I just didn't bother to try it on.
Oh.
It didn't fit. Okay, update on the Tom Hanks thing. He made an appearance on Sesame Street in season 24 while waiting with Big Bird and the kids for a bus. His favorite Muppet is Animal.
Is that it?
But that's pretty much it, yeah.
Oh, boo.
And
Boo,
like
Tom
he worked with
Hanks.
yeah, he worked with the Jim Henson Creature Shop effects for the Lady Killers. There's a animatronic cat. There's a picture of him and Fozzie, Gonzo, Kermit, and Animal, and Rita Wilson in some backstage promotional photo.
Aw.
Oh, weren't they on? Wasn't he? I don't know. He was hosting the SNL episode where they did a spot on, or was that might have been the Robert De Niro episode where they did the Christmas time is here or whatever.
I
I
honestly
don't remember.
can't remember to save my life. So the moral
Hmm.
of this is Tom Hanks should just work more with the Muppets, and then
Tom Hanks, yeah, he
my life
needs
would
to
be so
do
much
like
better.
a thing that we recognize him doing, and
Exactly.
that we remember him instead of that one thing that we don't remember him at. I think it is because, like, I'm looking at that picture and the picture of them on Saturday Night Live, and it seems to be that. So maybe he didn't host it, but he might have been on in it for some
Yeah,
reason.
because
I don't know.
he appears on Saturday Night Live all the time for no
Yeah.
reason, just because he wants to,
Yep.
because he's amazing.
I was gonna mention some stuff, but then I was like, no, let's not get too off topic.
Yeah, and
I'll
quickly
just
back.
say the good night in Saigon thing. Oh my god, that was the best. I think Will Ferrell was hosting. Okay. Next
Um,
question.
oh, well, quickly back to the previous one. Also, oh
Oh,
my
you
god.
weren't done? Oh yeah, I interrupted you.
Um, but yeah, back to the previous question. The main way that
Mhm.
the Muppets influenced my personal style is I have a tattoo on my back. It is
Oh
a
yeah, your tattoo.
Yeah, it is a bicycle, and underneath it, it says no, above it, it says "Couldn't we ride?" And
You don't remember? It's on your back. It's not
I
like you look at it every day.
can't see it every day. I said that to someone, they're like, "It's a tattoo. You should know what it looks like." And I'm like, "I can't see it. I know the words are there. I
Yeah.
just can't remember where." But
Where?
yeah, it says "Couldn't we ride?"
Point
and
is,
it's a
they're
bicycle,
there.
and it's cute.
Yeah.
And I've only ever had one person who I didn't know like approach me and tell me they recognized it, which happened a couple weeks ago,
Aw.
and I kind of cried a little bit because I was so happy.
No. Yeah.
Pretty
Instead of
much.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, because normally people take the tattoo to mean something completely different, which usually upsets me a bit.
Something dirty, and they're dirty, awful people for thinking it.
It happened last night again with someone from
Oh,
my
jeez.
work, which they didn't. It wasn't like sketchy, but they're just like, "Does it mean what I think it means?" And I'm just like, "No, think about
Probably
Muppets.
not.
Go away."
Probably not. Yeah.
Ho ho ho. So,
Alright.
but yes. Anyway, next question.
Mhm.
Nick from Tough Pigs asked, "What do you think about the recent push to have some of today's top fashion designers create new pieces for Miss Piggy?"
I don't think it's a recent push. I think they've been doing that along for, forever, just
Pretty
about.
much. I mean, I know that
Um,
they like brought her on what's the like the reality show where they design clothing?
I don't know. I don't watch reality
I
shows.
don't I don't either, but I saw that episode like
The one
it
with
has
the Tim Gunn?
Tim Gunn and
I
Heidi
don't know.
Klum. I don't remember either, but I know that she was on there and they designed clothes for her. Um,
Hmm.
but no, they've always kind of for magazines and such they'll design clothes and she'll wear
Yeah.
them. That's always been a thing.
Yeah. They've done that. I mean, since the 80s.
Yeah, so I guess there was kind
We
of
can
like
talk about
maybe there was a lull, but then they kind of started doing it more again.
yeah. I mean, I kind of think like when the Muppets kind of fell off the radar, I could talk about Miss Piggy's clothes in Muppets Most Wanted for like days and days, and I haven't even seen the movie yet because I love them all so much. I think this is the best she's dressed in any Muppet film. I
I
must
can
say.
agree with that.
Yep.
The few outfits
Although
I've seen her in.
I really like her hair for some reason in Muppets Take Manhattan. I don't know why.
Her like really curly
Some
hair.
really weird perm. Yeah, but especially when she had it like pulled back, that was the cutest. Oh my god, that was the cutest. Um, okay.
Our last question is from our favorite listener, FrogFan76, and
Alright.
he asked, "Will you lend me your credit card? Hashtag QVC."
I would, but there's not much on it left,
I was gonna
so you probably
say
wouldn't be able to get anything.
he doesn't want either of my credit cards because they are both pretty maxed out right now.
Yeah. It's
Extremely
like
so.
you can have them to pay them off.
That's a good
That's
point.
what's gonna happen.
I will gladly mail
Mm.
him my credit cards and
Yeah.
yeah, he can just pay them off for me.
Is that all for the questions?
That's all the questions that we got, not pertaining to the main topic of today's show. And I guess
Oh.
updates? There aren't really any
Nope.
updates.
Updates. You go first.
Pretty much, I mean, Muppets Most Wanted premiered this last week, and Tough Pigs Joe and my Muppet Mindset's Ryan went to it, and they took a lot of pictures, which made me incredibly jealous. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks like they got in a lot of interviews, like with Constantine and I believe Kermit,
Yep.
and
They got Kermit.
they've started posting reviews and such. So you should all go check those out at Tough Pigs and Muppet Mindset as well. And because the
Mm.
movie's coming out in less than a week, we're getting a lot of interviews on, as we said last week, like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and such. So you should all go and watch those interviews because they're all very entertaining.
I haven't watched the Arsenio one yet,
I did.
but I heard that that wasn't
It wasn't so much an
not really an
interview.
interview.
No, Fozzie not narrated. He was like the announcer, and then
Hmm.
Animal had like a drummer off with whoever Arsenio's drummer is, which actually that was pretty
Huh.
entertaining. Fozzie was a little, it was very scripted for Fozzie, so he wasn't quite as entertaining as normal.
Yeah, I like it when they improv.
I do too.
My favorite. I love it when they're on Craig Ferguson because he's
Hmm.
very loose. Especially Pepe. He has really good chemistry with Pepe.
Yeah, because we were talking about that on Tough Pigs, how the recent interviews with Jimmy Kimmel seemed like they were a little bit scripted. And
Yeah.
yeah, I like it when you can tell that they're just winging it. Have you listened to
Yeah.
Joe's interview with Constantine yet?
Yeah, I have.
It's
That
so
was great.
funny. I'm
That
so
was really
excited
good.
for him in the film.
Yeah. That was really good.
Pretty much, well, that's my update. Do you have an update on the creature
I
challenge?
do. Yeah, Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge is coming to the Sci-Fi Channel on March 25th at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Basically what it is Brian Henson and Gigi Edgley, who you might remember from as uh oh god, what was her character's name from Farscape?
Mm-hmm.
Um, she and Brian will be, I think, judges for the Creature Shop Challenge, which is kind of like a reality show competition show.
I think so.
10 creature designers compete for a chance of a lifetime. Their first challenge: create creatures that live in an undersea world untouched by the hands of man. So that's going to be the first episode. That seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, and I love Brian's promo pictures for this. I really do. So yay for that too. And I like that it's coming out right after Muppets Most Wanted,
Agreed. I'm
which
excited
is
to
pretty cool.
see it.
Yep,
That's
yep,
pretty
yep.
much all the news. There's not much else going on in the
Yeah, we
Muppety
kind of did
world.
that last week too.
Pretty much, yeah. We
Hmm.
covered a lot of stuff last week. Tough Big still has their Muppet Vault coming up. I think is it this week? I think it's the 19th, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
So everyone should also go to that as well.
If you're in the New York area.
Which we are not, unfortunately.
Nope. You're definitely not. You're in Middle Earth.
I just need to go find a
I will
TARDIS.
I will never not call it. You need to get those freaking eagles to come help you fly to. I mean, what else are they doing? They're not taking Frodo to Mordor. That's it. That's not what they're doing.
Yeah, because they're just
Wait till
flying
the.
around. They're just flying around New
I know.
Zealand. I just have to
Wait till
call
the
for
end of the
one.
movie.
I just have to
There's
go outside
moth
and
on the.
get one to come take me to New York.
Catch a moth.
Oh yeah, first I have to catch the moth, and then they'll go and retrieve an eagle for me, because that's how it works here.
Dude. Yeah, but man, they take quite a while. 'Cause I don't know if you noticed, like when Gandalf like grabbed the moth and was talking to it, and then he sent it away, and that thing took forever. I think it was like when he was in Isengard, It must have taken like 2 weeks. He was up there for a while, I'm sure.
The moth was a lot quicker in The Hobbit because, they were in the tree
Yeah,
and they were all about to die.
they were in trouble.
So
Said
Moth obviously knew
ASAP.
that it was important.
Yeah, they were kind of. Yeah, they were about to fall off a cliff hanging from some trees. Oh my gosh, are we never gonna not talk about Lord of the Rings on this dang thing?
Maybe once I'm
I
not
don't
in
think.
New Zealand, then maybe we won't.
Maybe.
At least not as much.
Maybe not. Hey, you used to live. No, then we'll just talk about Stand By Me all the time.
I
I'll
love
just
that
make
movie.
jokes about you having to go find a body when you're back in Portland, because that's where it was filmed.
It wasn't filmed directly in
All right.
Portland, was it?
It was filmed. Yeah, it was. In and around Portland.
That's a good movie.
I keep telling you this, and I keep linking you to like. Where
Yeah,
you
you
can...
do. Now that I think about it, we've had this conversation like 4 times already.
All right. Do we have any more updates or anything when we get back on track?
We can get back on track. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and do the first musical segment?
Yes. Pretty much this is going to lead into what the rest of our episode's going to focus on. And so for our first musical segment, here is Jamboree.
Lonely. Yeah, I get lonely. Sad. Whew, I know sad. But you do what you can with the things that you see to make life a jamboree. And I see cows playing cellos with bananas where their horns should be. And I see flags being waved by ducks in buckets and pigs drinking lemon tea. Jamboree, 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 jamboree. Find where you hide and look inside, and you got a jamboree. If all you know are bad times, if all you see are walls, if you get your news from the scuffs on your shoes, then that won't help at all. Cause you gotta see penguins throwing popcorn, chickens on a well-dressed moose. Hi, girls. And you gotta see rats floating by on pink balloons and fuzzy things on the loose. Jamboree, jamboree, jamboree. Find where you hide and look inside, and you got a jamboree. Well, you go run from thunder and you stay away from rain. But I'll be looking at the colors in the puddles to see my jamboree. Jamboree, chocolate cakes. Jamboree, bells on snakes. Some people give up, some people get out, but me, woo-hoo-hoo, I'm a jamboree. Jamboree, 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 jamboree. Me, I'm a jamboree.
Awesome. I love that song. That's probably my favorite Gonzo song. Or at least one of them.
Gonzo Muppet Show. Gonzo Muppet Show song.
Yeah, I guess from the Muppet Show. I don't know, because know what my favorite Gonzo song is? I love,
What?
Wishing Song that he sings on the Madeline Kahn episode.
Yeah.
I can remember the first time I watched it, I cried, because it was...
Yeah, that was really sad. But that was when he was still in his very sad phase.
To be fair, and we've talked about this on Tough Picks before, Gonzo's he's a really sensitive character.
I swear, he is the most, he's the Muppet with the most dramatic character arc.
I
I swear.
I mean, he goes from, eating tires and being shot out of cannons, and then all of a sudden, he's singing.
And being, like, super sad, yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about it on Tough Pigs, how, if you look at, like, the Wishing Song, when he sang My Way on the Muppet Show as well, I'm gonna go back there someday, I wish I could be Santa Claus, the whole of, like, Muppets in Space, he's a very, like, sensitive feeling character, which I've always, like, really admired in him, and that's probably one of the reasons he's one of my favorites.
He has a lot of depth that tends to get overlooked by, oh, he's the weirdo, he's the one that, he does the, eating tires to fly to the bumblebee.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. But yes, no, has a tremendous amount of depth, which is very nice.
Pretty much.
And what makes a character, and that can be said for all of them. But I think Gonzo, it's more. I don't want to say obvious because sometimes it isn't.
It's
but
more
if you look at it, you can You can tell.
Yeah, it's more apparent, if you're going through all of the Muppet Show in all the films as well. Like, I think
Hmm.
him and Kermit, I would say, probably have the most depth. And Miss Piggy
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
You kind of see
And
that arc.
and like Miss Piggy, yeah, and like Miss Piggy, think you think of Miss Piggy, you think of the diva that does the karate chops and stuff, and all her vulnerability and insecurities and stuff. You don't think about honestly, but they're there. You just have to see them
Exactly.
and look at them, recognize them for
Yeah.
what they are.
No, but Gonzo's
But
been my
yeah, no, I like.
favorites for ages.
Mhm. Mine too, really, honestly.
Yeah. Well, growing up,
One of the many.
my favorite was always Rolf, but that was because I loved dogs as a kid. Like, I was obsessed with dogs. That sounds so weird,
This
but
is
I was.
very superficial.
Yeah, it was a kind of a superficial. Well, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to grow up and be a dog until that dream was squashed. So of course he was my favorite character on like Muppet Babies and the Muppet movies.
Mhm.
And then for a while it was Fozzie, and then when I came back into the Muppet fandom, it became Gonzo immediately.
It's Gonzo again. Mhm.
Hmm.
Do you want to read your thing?
Yeah, I can do that.
I was gonna segue into that a lot better, but I didn't want to like put you on the spot. I wanted to like ask for your consent. I
My
was like,
consent.
in fact, yeah, in fact, you wrote a thing about it. So here, read your thing.
No, I
Do
don't
it
want to
now.
read.
Do it, Julia.
I
Do it
don't want
now.
to read it. Go away,
We
Laura.
agreed. We talked about this, Julia. We talked about this
Shut up.
beforehand. You're
Shut
supposed to
up.
do it.
Shut up. No. um,
Ow. Hurt
that
myself in my tea mug.
that escalated quickly. Um, Yeah, so I wrote for Tough Pigs, I wrote a piece, not this last Valentine's Day, but the previous one, which actually, to be fair, I had been working on it for like a year, but then I used Tough Pigs as an excuse to actually finish it. But I wrote a piece entitled Everyone Should Date a Gonzo, and it's super long, so I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I've got 2 paragraphs from it, so I figured I would read a little bit about it. And yes, okay, and I'm probably going to screw this up, so I apologize in advance. Um, Date a Gonzo because you'll never know what the day has in store for you. Your relationship will never be stale. It will never fall into an ordinary, dull routine of painstakingly mundane events that only leads to you yearning for something more. Every day will bring something fresh, something new to the table. You'll never have a single uninteresting moment when you're with a Gonzo. They'll keep a smile on your face and a skip in your heart every step of the way. Date a Gonzo because a Gonzo is the ever optimist, always believing there is something more that can and should be done. They believe their plans will go off without a hitch, they'll never say no to an adventure, and they somehow always manage to look on the bright side of things. This really struck me during the scene in The Great Muppet Caper when the guys are out with Miss Piggy on Kermit's date. While Fozzie and Kermit were busy worrying over how they were going to afford their meal with Lady Holiday, Gonzo did not hesitate to jump into action and instantly began taking pictures for money. No one asked him to, he just acted on instinct. This brings up a whole other point. A Gonzo is selfless. They'll do things for others without being asked, and they won't complain whilst doing it. They will always give you their all. A Gonzo does not give up and will do whatever it takes to make sure everyone is happy. What? What's that? A kid's letter didn't make it to Santa Claus and now she may not get her Christmas wish? No problem, because a Gonzo will take that letter all the way to the North Pole because that's exactly what a Gonzo does.
Aw.
Yay! That's basically.
You really do like that song.
I do like.
Letters to Santa. That was a good song. That was a good. I liked Letters to Santa a lot actually.
I do too, which
Especially their costumes. Oh my god.
I've gotten in conversations with people because I know a lot of Muppet fans don't like Letters to Santa, and to be fair, the reason I
I like
like it is probably because of Gonzo. But I
Mhm.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I think that it would have worked a lot better if it had been longer because it's pretty rushed, but it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And
And how awesome was Jesse L. Martin's number in that? I
it
mean, come on.
it
The
has
whole
such a
thing
good
is so cute.
soundtrack. Like I know a lot of
It
people probably
does.
don't agree, but I love that soundtrack so much.
Well, I agree.
I'm glad because
And
yeah,
if you can, I mean, if anybody, I will fight you if you want to argue about how good their costumes were.
their
Those were
costumes
such awesome costumes.
their costumes are
Oh my
so
gosh.
good in that episode. Wow, that
How
in that production.
how cute did Kermit look in that jacket? Like that was such a good fit, and it's hard to put Kermit in stuff where it hides his neck because he doesn't have much of one. And you put him in a suit, or when you put him in a turtleneck, I hate that mess because it looks like he looks all stumpy because he doesn't have any shoulders.
It's true.
And they give him shoulders, and they put something where he like requires shoulders, or they give him shoulders, and it looks really messed up. And that's why I have a problem when they put Kermit and stuff like that. that really ticks me off. Okay.
No, but it's true. Like that
Like
combination,
dressing Kermit is really
that
important.
combination of like the sweater and the jacket and the scarf in Letters to
Hmm.
Santa works really well. It looks so good. And
Everybody,
Fozzie's ugly Christmas sweater is so good, and I just want
I know.
one. I want one so badly.
Everybody was dressed really well on that, but that's not what our topic is.
True. Well, we can segue into things that Gonzo wears because I quite like him in Argyle. His Argyle sweater vests are probably my
Yes.
favorite.
Yes, thank you. And you know what? Oh man, I meant to look this up earlier and I totally forgot. But I swear to God, Frank Oz has the Argyle sweater vest exactly like that. And I
Good.
think it was when he was doing an interview for the Dark Crystal. So I'm
That's
gonna look up that real quick.
that's amazing. I approve. And a really quick story, like 2 Christmases ago, my dad and I were Christmas shopping for my brother, and we were looking at a clothes
Hmm.
department, and I was just like, we should get him this Argyle sweater vest. More men should wear Argyle. And then that night I went home and I was watching something Muppet related, and I was like, oh, Gonzo's wearing Argyle. That's probably where that influence came from. Because Argyle's
All right,
awesome.
I found it. Although it's not. I mean, it's just Argyle, but it's not really the same one. But it just made me think he's wearing a. That's like Frank Oz has one like that.
Maybe he was
So I
just
found a picture of it.
maybe he was just like kind of summoning his inner Gonzo for the interview.
I think I think I'm reading too much into it. I think it's just that it's
Probably.
Argyle.
We probably are.
Because Argyle is like one pattern and you change the colors. That is what Argyle is. Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, this is a nice picture of Frank. I want to put that up on the Tumblr later.
good.
Um.
You do that.
Yeah. So no, that is definitely my favorite. Um. I without a doubt hate the chili pepper shirt. The chili pepper.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not a huge
Nope.
fan of it.
I like the Argyle, and I'll tell you why. Because he's supposed to be like all zany and wacky and stuff, but he's wearing Argyle,
I know, and
right?
it's so like professional.
I know it's very, kind of like what you expect him to be. You expect him. He's Gonzo. He's crazy. He does wild, crazy stunts. You expect him to wear weird stuff like the chili pepper sweater or the funky,
Or his like
polka dots or
the
whatever.
leotard that he was wearing in the last film with like cape.
Although that is his that's his uniform, that's
Hmm.
his costume for his shows, so that's a bit different.
Yeah.
So those I don't mind, that's when this is performing wear.
How do you feel about his purple suit?
um from the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Muppet Show, the maroon. Yeah, well, that was kind of like, I don't know, for some reason the Muppet Show uniform.
Yeah. I like it.
That because Nigel wore pretty much the same thing, I think.
A
Was
little
his
bit. I
brown?
feel like it was
I think
different.
his was a little bit different. But like, yeah, for a while, like all the Electric Mayhem, when they were in the pit, they were wearing that too.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a
Um,
good point.
that lady trumpeter, she had one. Trumpeteer? I don't know what the term
Muppeteer.
is for that. I don't know. My cousin played trumpet. I never asked him no. But yeah, I mean, but that was kind of before he found his personality too. So I think they just kind of like put him in with what other performers for the
Yeah.
Muppet Show were wearing.
And speaking of like personality, that kind of, I think, because we were talking about how Gonzo shows like one of the biggest arches when it comes to emotions, but also just character growth as well. He's gone through such a
Hmm.
lot of it because early on he was so different as to what he is now.
Yeah, I think he's mellowed out over the years too.
Yeah, because he went from being kind of like this sad, weird guy on the show to being incredibly
Yeah.
like zany and now yeah he has mellowed out a little bit, but
Hmm.
I don't know if that
He's
like
grown up
yeah I guess that I
a
didn't know if
little.
it reflects more of like Dave kind of just aging a bit or if it's just he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't care. I like him. It's Gonzo. I
I
like
love
it.
Gonzo.
Yep. So I have a Muppet Show poster, and I'm looking at Gonzo right now in his Argyle sweater or sweater vest, his button-down shirt.
I don't
I
have
like it very much.
I don't have a Muppet Show poster here.
I got it at Walmart. It was like $20 or something. But it's big and framed, and a bunch of them are like the poser Muppets that I totally hate. And I'm not saying that they're not like they're like weird hipster Muppets or something. They're poser Muppets. No, they're Muppets that you pose. And Kermit especially always looks terrible
Oh,
when they get those. I don't know. I don't know why they can't just like do like a mold of Steve's hand, shove it in there to make it look like he's alive. Yeah, they always like usually everybody else looks okay, but Kermit and Piggy always look very oddly frozen and weird.
we're gonna make a mold of your hand so we can.
I know. It's like put your hand into it. You have to re- preserve it for posterity, and so that Kermit doesn't look like shit when you take pictures of him in magazines.
I would appreciate that.
That would be great. We'll kidnap Steve and do it just for everybody else. We'll just have it. Why would we do that? Because then we have to like sell it to the. I don't know. Where am I going with this?
This just took a really weird
We're
turn.
not gonna.
You're talking about.
We're not gonna kidnap Steve.
Steve Whitmire.
We're not gonna do that. No, I didn't. I never said that.
You did.
I never said
we
that.
recorded it. I guess you can always edit it out, but you're not gonna.
Yeah, I
edit it
can
out.
take it. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna take it out.
The world has to know. Steve Whitmire's
I
never
never
gonna
said
come
that.
on this show, by the way.
Nope.
After the
Nope.
last episode and this episode,
Nope.
he's gonna listen to them and be like, no.
It's like I was gonna because that girl's from North Carolina, so we're like Southern people togetherness with our togetherness of
Folk.
Southernness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Do we have any other questions?
Anything else?
Let's go to another question.
Anything else Gonzo related that we want to talk about?
Oh no, yeah, we're not gonna go to questions just yet. Or are we doing questions? I don't even remember. I am so tired.
What time is it there?
2:21
Oh my god. Okay.
in the AM.
In the,
By the way,
I figured it was in the AM.
Speaking of dating Gonzo and Gonzo, oh, that makes me sad. I just noticed that in my Muppet poster, Camilla is not with him. He's next to
Aw.
Rizzo, which is great. We should talk about that too. Him and Rizzo, BFFs 5 ever.
Pretty much. Rizzo's my second favorite.
I love
Muppet.
him and Rizzo.
I quite.
It's like Gonzo and then Rizzo because they make such a good team.
Pretty much. Which the first time they were ever really paired up was it Muppet Christmas Carol?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that was a lot out of necessity,
Yeah. No, I
which is kind of
definitely
sad, but
would agree with that. But
also
at the same time, it
I
ended
think
up working.
yeah, because of Dave and Steve because they built up that relationship through Fraggle Rock
Yeah.
that they figured out how they can carry it over to
Muppets.
their main characters.
Well, pretty much because
Yep.
they do so many duos nowadays. They do Statler and
Mhm.
Waldorf, Beaker and Bunsen, Gonzo and Rizzo, obviously. I feel like there were probably more. They did Andy and Randy.
Yeah, let's not talk about
Well,
Andy and
no, we
Randy
won't talk about them. But I was just mentioning them for the sake of this conversation.
for the sake of the duos. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've done a lot of really good duos together over the years,
Mhm.
which I quite appreciate. Yeah.
And like Bunsen and Beaker and Stout and Waldorf again out of necessity, but they're paired up to do those because A, they can, and two, because they're so good together
Yeah, they work.
and they already have that kind of chemistry and everything.
They work really well together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh
no,
yeah.
I love Rizzo and Gonzo. Like, I know a lot of people have problems with Muppets from Space, but I don't know, I've never had quite as many problems with it, probably because it does focus on Gonzo, and there's a lot of Rizzo in there as well, which I've always really liked.
Yeah. Gonzo and Camilla, which is what I wanted to talk about it, and then I started talking about Rizzo
Oh.
because he's the best. Yeah, Gonzo and Camilla, and you're talking about dating and Gonzo. That is one loyal man, or whatever. But it's funny because you can't really tell, and I think Dave said something about this too, that he can't really tell which one's Camilla.
Yeah,
He's just he
They
just
all
picks one and
kind of look alike.
grabs and go. Actually, Camilla, she has blue eyes instead of like the beady eyes.
That's right, she does.
She actually has like what like Miss Piggy has, those kind of eyes,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just the beady black eyes. Or they might have changed it, or I'm thinking about like the really old chickens, or like just the beady black eyes. But I think they do have
I think they don't have
Like
the
with
beady
the-
black
the
eyes
bigger-
anymore. Yeah.
no, those are the really old ones. Oh my god, yeah. But she has blue eyes, like Yeah, so I don't know. I thought I had more to say about Gonzo and Camilla, but I guess I don't, because there's a question that brings that up anyway that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Alright, now we're going to do some questions.
And we've got quite a lot of questions, that's kind of why we decided just to make Gonzo the main topic of today's episode, because...
Yeah.
Pretty much. Alright, and...
We're almost an hour, so...
I know. So we got a lot of questions, and also a few comments as well. At Muppet Mindset, aka Ryan Dozer, asked... No, he did not ask, he said... Gonzo is my all-time favorite Muppet. He's weird and knows it, and wants everyone to appreciate it, like me. Because we did ask.
I like that.
We did ask what people liked about Gonzo.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And at Muppety Notes says he fully embraces his own weirdness, regardless of what people think. I find that really inspiring. He is my favorite Muppet. Okay, and then
what's our other?
We got a couple questions from Inspired Crafter from Tumblr. Should I just read all the questions at once, or should I read them, I guess?
No, you can do them separately, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, because they said, saw you were looking for topic ideas for Gonzo. How did /do costume choices work?
We don't know. But, like, kind of what we explained before was the purple suit was just whatever they were wearing. The Argyle, I don't know where that came from, but I love it. And then chili pepper shirt, I don't know where that came from, but I hate it. So.
Gosh, has Gonzo had any other, like, outfits that have stuck around for a while? That's really kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there any purpose for his big nose?
Not that I know of.
No, I don't.
Although that, yeah. And then the second one after that is, who is his character based off of, a real person or a combination of people? I don't know about that one, because his character was, I think his character really came a lot from Dave, personally, because didn't Dave make that particular, the cigar box Frackle?
I think so.
I think he did. I think he made him. I want to say that he did. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Oh well, I'll take blame for that. Gonzo was actually, before he was Gonzo, he was cigar box Frackle for the Great Santa Claus Switch. And when they were like looking for a new character for Dave to have in the Muppet Show, they kind of just pulled that one out of the box and threw him in a suit and made him this kind of sad face sort of character.
And he stayed that.
Which eventually,
he stayed that way all of the
evolved.
first season.
And then Dave figured out, he put a little mechanic to make his eye have movement, which did a tremendous improvement for that character.
It really did.
So yeah.
Yeah, and didn't he say that, like, the first time he really kind of started to understand Gonzo was when Gonzo made the comment about chicken's legs?
Which leads into our next question. When did the Puppeteers decide to introduce his love interest, Camilla?
When did Camilla come in?
I don't remember what episode it was. I think it was, now I have it in my head. I want to say that it's an episode, but I don't know.
There is a distinct episode, and then, because I remember it's the episode where Big Bird comes in as well. Because then Gonzo starts hitting on Big Bird. It's a little weird.
Yeah, but basically there was a bunch of farm animals in the backstage. He just goes, oh, check out the legs on that chicken, and that's kind of what happened.
And so Inspired Crafter also said, sorry if these questions are too obscure, just thought I'd send a few things your way. Good luck with the recording. And
thank you.
Laura, we talked a little bit about how last week we were kind of a little, I don't know if vague's the right word, but we kind of didn't explain.
We assumed too much.
Yeah, like we didn't have last names of Muppet performers, and we kind of just geeked out, but we didn't kind of take into consideration that people listening might not be quite as familiar with the Muppet fandom as we are.
Yeah.
So we should definitely try to be better about that in the future. And
yeah, I'm gonna apologize. I have hiccups, so I'm trying to like hold my breath and stop them.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah,
there we go.
So basically, if you do have questions, about, things that might seem apparent to us, feel free to ask pretty much whatever, and we'll try to be better about not being vague.
We will answer them.
You sound like you're dying.
It's the worst. I know. Oh god, it's terrible. I get hiccups all the time now.
Aw. East of the Moon from Tumblr asked, pretty much, how about Camilla? What is it about Camilla that made Gonzo fall in love with that beautiful chicken?
Aww.
Gonzo fell in love with Camilla because she's a beautiful chicken, and
And
yeah.
he has an attraction to chickens, apparently.
And she's the most
That's
beautiful of all
just
the chickens.
we're not here to judge because of her sparkling personality. I don't
Pretty
know.
much. Don't
And
Sugar
her
Me. Don't Sugar Me asked, my only question about Gonzo is this: is he the cutest or is he the cutest?
the cutest.
He's the
We agree with you.
cutest of the cutest. On Boring Rocks asked the question I've wondered for years: chili pepper ties, yay or nay?
Oh yeah, no, we answered that. No,
Pretty
nope.
much. Nah.
Sorry, Evan. I hope you don't like them because they're crap. I don't like them. Nope.
Pretty,
Nope. No.
pretty
Nope.
much.
Those goddamn chili peppers. I do not like them.
Stupid chili peppers.
Stupid chili peppers ruining my Argyle fantasies. I don't know.
That sounds so.
Uh,
Yeah, okay.
that sounded wrong. Okay, I shouldn't have said
Your
fantasies.
Argyle fantasies. I don't want to hear about your
Yeah.
fantasies, Laura.
That was better than I could have said fetish. That would have been wrong,
That
wrong,
would've-
wrong. 6 ways to Sunday.
Then, yeah, Argyle. What a weird fetish that would be. Like, if you're just a person that has a fetish with Argyle.
I don't know. That would be. I don't know. I think that would be kind of easy because you could buy Argyle socks. All right, why are we talking about? Let's stop talking about that.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna read the one that Brittany L. Reed 25 from Tumblr said.
Which, yeah,
I'm just gonna read the whole
that's
thing.
pretty much the last one that I had, so go for it.
Yeah. So the age-old question about what exactly is Gonzo is always a good topic. Smiley face. Did you guys ever used to wonder what he is, or just take it he's a whatever and roll with it? I kind of did. That's what I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, same.
It's Muppets. There's like monsters and whatever Scooter is. I guess he's a person. I don't know.
Like some version of a person.
My brother used to say that no, he's a gopher, right? Because that's what he is. I was like, that's his job. Even I knew that. And I was
Yeah.
7. I knew what his job was. Yeah, but just like odd-looking humans or humanoid people, there's still a debate as to what Clifford is. So, I mean, I think Crazy Harry is dead. That's what he looks
Crazy
like.
Harry
He's dead.
is. I have issues. Crazy Harry terrifies
He's
me.
gray.
He terrifies
He's
me.
creepy. He's creepy looking.
He's like the one Muppet that I would
Zo-
never want to meet.
Yeah. Zoot's blue. I mean, Floyd's purple. It's kind of you don't really question it too much.
Pretty much.
But yeah, no, Gonzo was just he was a Gonzo.
Well, because I mean, they've
For me,
made a lot of comparisons with him and like birds and turkeys, and then obviously
Yeah.
he's been compared to being an alien because that's the whole point of Muppets from Space. Have you ever
yeah,
considered
he
him?
looks like a turkey,
Have you ever
but not much
considered
like a turkey.
pretty much. Have you ever considered him to be either like kind of bird-like or alien-esque?
I don't know. I guess he's an alien, but I really like the whole whatever thing. I like that there wasn't a category, and that Dave kind of keeps it as to he's a weirdo, he's a whatever. He doesn't, use the particular word alien
Yeah.
because I think that labels him. I think that labels him too much, and I don't like that. I don't know. I mean, because it's kind of weird because his whole thing was that he was alone and stuff, and
Yeah.
Muppets from Space sort of blew that out of the water, and then again just left him by himself again.
A little bit. No, the point of it was
So-
that the Muppets were his family, and he didn't need.
Oh, yeah, I know, but-
aliens.
Exactly. So he didn't need his funkadelic family, I guess. But
Pretty much. But no, I've always
we
considered.
we
him
can
to be
talk
a
about.
I've always considered him to be a
Yeah.
whatever.
Brittany goes on to say, for me, I know one of the reasons that Muppet from Space is one of my favorite movies is because it focused on Gonzo's origin. But later I saw a YouTube video where Gonzo was interviewed and Dave Goelz made him say, I was so excited, and they told me it was just a movie, so now I don't know. LOL, poor guy. But yeah, is he an alien or a type of bird? I don't think he's a type of bird. He doesn't exactly have a beak, he just has a weird nose.
And he's got kind of some
Um,
feathers going on at the top of his head too.
Yeah, but not much.
I know.
So, I mean, it's just something they use that's in the
Yeah, I mean, I guess his
workshop.
Gonzo's nose is it kind of looks like it could almost be a beak, but it's obviously not. It's a nose, so.
But it's not, it's a nose.
I
It's just a
know.
weird ass nose.
So
I'm trying to get to curse.
we've already cursed.
Um,
Just don't
yeah.
even bother.
And she says, the different opening bits he did, as in like the O and the Muppet Show, which one was your favorites? I don't remember half of them.
Yeah, to be quite honest,
Whenever
I
he
don't
does the
either.
trumpet, yeah. the like explosion ones, I guess. There's one he had a balloon that was neat. I don't know. I don't really
Was there
remember
like
those.
one where like Kermit scared him or something? I don't remember.
Somebody did like symbols on him or something, or somebody else blew a trumpet in his ear.
I feel like it was Kermit.
I think that yeah. Which Gonzo skit is your favorite in general? Probably Jamboree, and I really liked Sentimental Journey.
Yeah, I like Jamboree and Wishing Song, which we kind of already covered earlier. But and then
oh, Memory Lane. I like that one a lot.
That's a good one too. I mean, you can't, classic Flight of the Bumblebees. You can't really top that. He calls everyone yokels.
Yeah. Let's see. Brittany says you can talk about his crush on Miss Piggy and how that phased over time because it was consistent with Muppet Babies. Yeah, because that was a big deal in Muppet Babies, but I don't really ever remember it being any kind of deal at all in Muppet Show.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal, but he did have a crush on Miss Piggy throughout the entire Muppet Show.
He did? How did I just totally miss that then?
I can't think of any
like specific things
examples, but no, he was just like persistently like he wanted to spend time with her, and he'd follow her around, and she obviously would be like, you're a weirdo, and then hit him.
Yeah, you creep.
That's what she would do. But no, he pretty consistently had a crush on her, but then pretty much it was completely like phased out when the movies started coming out. Well,
yeah,
the first in Great Muppet Caper and the Muppet movie, he doesn't like necessarily super try to flirt with her, but like remember he tries to when she's like, oh, we should have a dinner for two in the Muppet movie, he's like, yeah, just me and you, Miss Piggy, and she was like, no, screw you. But then yeah, it's completely gone nowadays.
Yeah, but it is, I mean, it's super apparent in Muppet Babies.
I forgot, I haven't watched Muppet Babies since I was a kid, quite honestly.
But yeah, no, I mean, I remember that happening. And
yeah.
Remember that being there and stuff. Brittany says, a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry, I just love Gonzo. He's my favorite Muppet. Different kind of smiley face, like the anime smiley face. I hope these are okay. Those are great. I like that.
Yes. Those are pretty much all of our questions.
We had a couple of good ones. We filled up our time pretty well.
We did. For our final musical segment, we're gonna be playing a version of I'm Going to Go Back There Someday, but it's personally my favorite version of the song, and it's sung by Paul Williams and Gonzo together. And yeah, here it is.
This looks familiar,
vaguely familiar.
It's almost unreal yet.
It's too soon to feel yet.
Close to my soul, and yet so far away.
I'm going to go back there someday.
Sunrise as night falls.
Sometimes the sky calls.
Is that a song there?
And do I belong there?
I've never been there, but I know the way.
I'm going to go back there someday.
Come and go with me, it's more fun to share. We'll both be completely at home in midair.
We're flying, not walking on featherless wings.
We can hold on to love
like invisible strings.
There's not a word yet
for old friends who've just met.
Part heaven, part space.
Or have I found my place?
You can just visit, but I plan to stay. And I'm going to go back there someday.
love that song. That's probably my favorite version of it. I mean, I love the one from
Yeah.
the movie, obviously, but I love that
Paul
version.
Williams is a magical man.
It's true.
I just love Paul Williams to death.
Hey, Laura, wasn't Paul Williams on an episode of a show that we love?
Oh yeah,
We didn't mention that earlier.
I know. Well, we weren't really talking about Paul Williams. Paul Williams. Okay, if you guys that missed it, you don't watch Community. What is wrong with you? But Paul Williams was on last. What was today? Saturday. So he was on Thursday's episode of Community. And it was awesome, and I forget what the name of it was. But he is like this cameo, and I had to cover my mouth to keep from screaming. That was my retweet, by the way, if you follow us on Twitter, which you should. That was me. And he favored it, and I don't know if he retweeted it, but he definitely favorited it.
Yay.
Yeah, that was super surprising, and I lost my mind. Definitely follow us on Twitter at Frog Kissin' Gals. Follow us on Tumblr at Frog Kissin' Podcast. And what else? We got a Facebook now.
Yep, Facebook. Frog Kissin' Podcast as well.
Yeah.
We're on, for the actual podcast, we're on SoundCloud and Podomatic and YouTube.
Without the G. Kissin.
So,
I'm gonna switch back now.
Muppeteer of the Week.
Oh yeah, that part.
We kind of figured, since we already had talked about Gonzo for probably getting close to 45 minutes, we might as well just make Dave the Muppeteer of the Week.
We'll just talk about Dave Goals. Dave Goals, who started out as a computer engineer, I think, and then came over to do character building.
And then ended up
I
being
think-
a main performer.
Yeah.
I quite like Mr. Goals. He's quite excellent and probably my favorite Muppet performer, or at least up there near the top.
Not a lot of people know this. Dave does Figment's voice for the Epcot ride. So Figment's cool. So we're a child of the 80s, and that's what happens. You get Figment. Figment is an Epcot. That's how it is.
I have never been to Epcot, but if I ever go, I will keep this in mind.
Yeah. Also, Eric Idle's on the thing, but I don't know.
I love Eric Idle.
I love Eric Idle too. But it's not about Eric Idle. It's about Dave Goals. He does Figment. That's just a side thing. I just thought I'd put that out there.
Dave Goals.
What a guy.
Pretty much. Should we wrap up so you can go to bed?
Yes, please.
Alright. Well, this has been another exciting episode of Frog Kissin'.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
I'll make a thing.
Talking about Gonzo.
Talking about Gonzo and Dave Goals and Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge. Watch it so it doesn't get canceled. We can see lots of lovely Brian Henson. I'm so excited for that.
Pretty much. And then
I love Brian.
next week's episode, we're hoping to focus it on a certain movie that's going to be in theaters.
Can you guess which one?
I don't think they can.
Talk to us and find out, or tell us about it, or tell us your guesses.
Pretty much.
Just say something to us. We need questions and that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Let us know what you thought of the new Muppet film. Ask us questions. Ask us pretty much anything.
Don't get too personal. Keep it above the waist. No, keep it.
What do you think
That
they're
was
going to be
the thing.
asking us?
No, that was the from this is so friggin' obscure. From the of Muppets and Men, when they're doing that fish scene
Oh.
and Jim comes up, he's like, "Oh, I could like squeeze you guys from behind to get that sound." And Steve says, "No, we can do it. Keep it above the waist."
That is really obscure, but that's such a good reference. I applaud you.
Well, boy. I need to go to bed. This is bedtime for
and
me.
on that note, I guess we'll bid adieu for this week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.
Bye.
Bye.